Alright, this video is for the language of algebra, and we're working on the very last worksheet, worksheet 2-7. If you're in this class, awesome! I won't be giving a key at the beginning. We're just going to work through each problem because there's different ways you can work these out and set up the equation, so I don't want to give hard and fast rules. If you're not in this class and you're saying to yourself, man, I'd really like to take this class live, look down in the description and you will see the link to the class. Alright, so let's go ahead and change the view so that we can see these a little bit closer, and we'll get started. There were 18 bales of hay in the barn. Jason stacked more bales in the barn today. There are now 54 bales of hay in the barn. How many bales did he store in the barn? So it says to write an algebraic expression and then solve. So it's kind of a two-part. All right, so we need to ask ourselves, is this asking for the sum of two things? Is it asking for the difference of two things? Do we have the product of two things? Or do we have the quotient? And this is where we get into algebraic looking at something and common sense looking at something. Common sense of you might say, this is the difference. It's the difference between day 2 and the first day, what our totals were, to find out how much that we did on the second day. Okay, and that would be 36 bales, right? But we got to start thinking algebraically. Algebraically, we have the sum here. We have the sum of 2 days' work. We have the sum of day 1, and we have the sum of day 2. Okay? So if I was going to set up an algebraic equation, I know that between day 1 and day 2, I have 54 bales. And I also know what day 1 is. Day 1 was 18 bales, right? Plus day 2, which I'm just going to put a T in for, equals 54 bales, okay? And there would be your expression, which we already know from our common sense way is 36 bales. All right, and next class we will actually be talking about opposite operation and be able to solve these. We may or may not have gone over it a little bit, but right now we're just setting up expressions and we're solving them. We know from common sense it's 36 bales. We also know that this would be how I would set up an expression. Alyssa has 34 books in her library. She bought several books at a yard sale over the weekend. She now has 84 books in her library. How many books did she buy over the weekend? Again, they gave me the sum of some books. They gave me the sum of the books she already had in her library, plus the ones she bought in a yard sale over the weekend, and that will give her 84. Now, I also know from a common sense point of view that I can subtract and get 50 books. She bought 50 books over the weekend. All right, and this is very important because when we get into class, the next class, if you're doing this worksheet, it's probably the next class, and look at how adding and subtracting are opposites of each other. After paying $8 for the pie, Sam has $80 left. How much money did he have before buying the pie? We're talking about difference, and we have the answer to the difference problem. It's the money he had before minus 8 equals $80. Okay, so the money he had before, we'll make it B, minus 8 equals 80. And we know from common sense what we're doing is we're adding these two. Before he had the pie, he had $88. All right, last week Jason had $21. He washed cars over the weekend and now has $74. How much money did he make washing cars? So again, we have a problem in which we have a sum, right? The end of the weekend he had $74. He started out at 21. He made money washing cars, and we need to know how much he made. Okay, so we're given the sum of two things. So to write it as an equation, we got to write it as a sum. But we know from common sense that we're actually going to subtract to figure out that he has $53. That's how much he made washing cars. Jessica is baking a cake. The recipe calls for 8 cups of flour. She already put in 4 cups of flour. How many more cups does she need? Common sense tells me that if I need 8, I put 4 in, I need 4 more cups. It also, if I'm writing an expression though, I know the sum. I know the sum of what I put in and what I still need, and that will equal 8 cups. Okay, and we're going to look at this comparison between what we know from a rational point of view versus what we know from what we're given, either the sum, the difference, the product, or the quotient. Nancy's high school played 11 hockey games this year. The team won most of their games. They were defeated during 2 games. How many games did they win? So I know that all of my wins plus all of my losses will equal 11 games altogether. I'm given the sum. All right? And I don't know how many I won, but I know that I lost 2. Okay? In my mind, I know that if I subtract those, I will get 9 wins. Like I said, we're going to look at this opposite operation next week. How many packs of DVDs can you buy with $99 if one pack costs $11? I am given the product in this one. Okay, to be able to find the answer, I have to take $11 times the amount of CDs that I get, and that will give me $99. Well, I know in the real world, using common sense, all I have to do is divide the 2 numbers, and I get 9 DVDs. If I have $99 and each DVD is $11, I can only buy 9 DVDs. Very good. If you're having more problems with this, please let me know, and I can make you a personal YouTube video. If not, just keep working in the book, and I'll see you in the next class.